Hello, I'm Pavel Nersessian, and this video is made in order to boost and support the Nashville competition, Nashville Chopin piano competition, which is coming in this October. And I was approached by my former student Graciella Kowalczyk and her team to give answers to her very interesting questions connected with Chopin performing and Chopin difficulties, and also competition specific ideas of how to perform Chopin. I like the questions very much, and I will pronounce them. I will ask them to myself and will answer. I hope it will be a fun thing. So the questions are, first one, what is the single most important thing when performing Chopin? Chopin is a complex thing, so you cannot really point out one which is more important than others. You can lose something, gain something, and then it will not be a good performing. For me, still the most important thing is probably sincerity, good taste, nobility, and the feeling of mystery. Otherwise, it will not work for me, at least. So I couldn't mention just one thing, you see. No single most important thing. Sorry for that, but Chopin is a complex. What Chopin works should one avoid when participating in a competition? That's a difficult and tricky question, because probably every jury member or every performer of Chopin has his or her own favorite or not so favorite pieces which are difficult to make people laugh. So for me, those two which I would not recommend my students to do are fantasy and Polonaise fantasy. Difficult to say why, because probably it's very difficult to convince people about your own performance that it is better than others. For me, what is difficult in both of these pieces is to find naturalness. Again, this is my personal experience more than my advice. Probably there will be somebody who are very, very happy with these pieces to perform, but for me, they are less convincing than, for example, saying, let's say, ballades or scherzos. So the third question, what are complete deal breakers for you in one's Chopin interpretation? That it comes back to the first question, what is the single most important thing? Deal breakers for me here are variety, sincerity, excellent taste, nobility. How to choose your 45 minutes Chopin recital program? It's not difficult. Chopin, thank God, he wrote quite much of music and much of great music. It's longer. I wish he had written more, by the way, but even among what he wrote, it is easy to find something which would be varied. For me, the most difficult thing is to find emotional variety here. You can find something more or less tragic, more or less melancholic, more or less entertaining. So for me, all these three things should exist in a good 45 minutes recital program. So not to concentrate on something one-sided. Who are your favorite Chopin pianists? If I want to listen to Chopin, I go to somebody in the past, like Cortot or Rachmaninoff. I like Christian Zimmermann, probably, more in still living performers than anyone else. How do you deal with nerves while performing? No question. Sometimes you try to forget about yourself. Being nervous means that you are putting yourself in front of a composer's task. So sometimes it is very necessary just to forget about yourself and to think that musical goals are more important than your own feelings. So then it helps me just look at this little musical goal here and there, and probably look at this beautiful phrase here, look at this beautiful